Hello, welcome to Little Smiles International School Basic 1 online tutorial. Our subject for today is Natural Science, and it is taken from Strand 1, Diversity of Matter. Substrand 1, Living and Non-Living Things. Indicator 1, different kinds of things in the environment. Different kinds of things in the environment. When we say the environment, we are referring to the things that we see around us. The environment is the things or are the things that we see around us. And the things we see around us can be put into two groups. That is living things and non-living things. Living things and non-living things. The things around us can be grouped into two different kinds. These are living and non-living things. As I said earlier on, we can put them into living things and non-living things. There are two keywords here. Let's look at what they are. We will first pick living things. When we say living things are natural things that have life. Natural things because they were created by God. They were created by God and they have life in them. As we are going on, we will get to know why we say living things have life in them. But before that, let's look at some examples of living things. We have birds. Birds are living things. They have life in them. We have lizard. We have cow. Pepper plant. Spider. Sheep. Etc. All these are examples of living things. They are examples of living things because they have life in them. These ones are also examples of living things. The pictures you see here are examples of living things. They have life in them because they show certain characteristics. They do certain things for us to see. That is why we say that they have life in them. Let's look at some of these characteristics that living things show or exhibit. 1. Living things breathe air to live. All living things, being plant or animal, need air to live. 2. Living things drink water to live. Both plants and animals, that are the living things that we have, they need water to live. 3. Living things need light and food to survive. Plants need light, animals need food to survive. These are the only living things that we have in our environment. And 4. Living things grow. Living things can increase in height. When my mother gave birth to me, I was not like this. I was very small, but now I'm going to become big. You two, you were not like that. You were very small, and now you've grown to become big. So living things increase in size and height. That is growth. 5. Some living things move by themselves. Plants cannot move by themselves. Plants are at one place, but they can move when the air blows. And they can move using their roots. Animals also move by themselves. As I'm here after teaching, I can walk to any place that I want. You can also run or walk. You move by yourself. 6. Living things reproduce young ones. That is, living things are able to give rise to young ones of their own kind. I'm a human being. You are a human being. So we can produce a human being. We can produce a goat. Goats produce goats. So living things are able to give rise to their young ones. That is reproduction. They are able to reproduce. And the 7th one is living things die. Living things are able to lose the life that they have in them. And that is death. Living things die. After living for some short time, they die to give way for young ones to come and also take over. Let's look at the second one. That is non-living things. Non-living things. Non-living things are things that do not have life. Unlike living things, non-living things do not have life in them. So they cannot show the characteristics that living things show. Their characteristics are also different. Let's look at some examples of non-living things. And before that, living things can be natural, non-living things can be natural or artificial. Non-living things can be natural or artificial. Let's look at some examples of non-living things. Water. Water is a natural material. God created it, but it is a non-living thing because it doesn't have life in it. Water cannot eat. Water cannot grow. Water cannot give rise to its young kind. It makes it a non-living thing. 2, we have soil. Soil is a natural material and it is a non-living thing. We have table. We have chair, etc. There are a lot of non-living things. The marker I'm using is a non-living thing. My shirt is a non-living thing. Let's look at some of the characteristics of non-living things. 1. Non-living things cannot eat. As I said earlier on, non-living things cannot eat. This book cannot eat. It doesn't have mouth to eat. It cannot grow. It can't do anything. That is a non-living thing. 2. Non-living things cannot grow. As I said, this marker will continue to remain like this. It cannot grow. It cannot increase in height and it cannot increase in size by itself. So it cannot grow. Non-living things cannot breathe. Non-living things cannot breathe. If you look at this toy I'm having here, it is a non-living thing and it cannot breathe. Look at this little duckling there. It is a non-living thing. As I'm pinching it, it is not screaming and it is not doing anything. It cannot breathe. It cannot eat. It cannot grow. I have a clock here and it is an example of a non-living thing because this clock cannot eat. It cannot grow. It cannot move by itself. The last one. Non-living things cannot produce babies. Yes. Look at this little duckling here. It is a non-living thing. And it will continue to remain like this. It cannot produce any baby. But living things like mommy can give birth to a baby. But this one is a non-living thing. It cannot give birth. It cannot produce young one. Children, below this tutorial, there are words there. Please download them and answer them and submit them at the school premises for marking. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will meet in our next tutorial. Until then, bye-bye.